Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the good old wrestler Matt Riddle and why I personally think that he's trying to mess his career up. He's trying to put himself in a situation where he's in that same category as Ryback. You know, where it's like, when was the last time? When was the last time Ryback had wrestled? When was the last time Ryback wrestled? Yeah, because I'm curious. I feel like that's Ryback's last match was against, well, yeah, it was 2016. Has he not worked for no other company since then? Oh, he was in the independent circuit in 2018. What was the last thing he did in 2016? So there's that. But they don't say nothing about like him. Oh wait a minute, no, that was something else. There was like, there was like Persona and Reception. Okay, but there was like immediately after WWE departure, Ryback began taking independent bookings. He wrestled between August 2016 and August 2018. Okay, so yeah, he had a good thing going. Matt Riddle, cause what he was in TNA. They was like made his debut in TNA and Turning Point last year, and he teamed up. So my question is what happened? Because you see where a lot of different wrestlers have been going from WWE to TNA, and like whether it's just kind of just going over there just to collaborate, or they got released and then now they're hired over there. But what happened between, because when they say this was November of last year, hold on for a second, November of last year, what happened between November of last year all the way up until this present day? Because my thing is this: if I get fired from or released from WWE, the next best business is TNA Impact or AEW. What happened? What happened there? You know, like what's going on? Like, I think now he's wrestling for this Major League Wrestling, and eventually, there was all like he defeated Jacob Fatu when there was like Riddle returned to Major League Wrestling at Kings of Colosseum on January 6, 2024, defeated Jacob Fatu. Yeah, that was probably when Jacob Fatu, he was getting ready to make his way to WWE. He's like, he was like, you can take my spot. I'm going over to WWE. So, but anyways, man, it just trips me out. It's like, you know, he was a part of the business, talking about Matt Riddle from 2018 to 2023. And the thing is this: the reason why I personally believe that he got released from WWE, because I think it was over like failing those drug test things. But let's see, feud with departure. Money on, they was like, okay, on September 22nd, 2023, Riddle announced his departure from WWE on Twitter, and RK Bro was officially disbanded immediately. Yeah, usually, okay, I wonder where is that tweet at? It's like, because I was who just announces, or maybe it was on some stuff where it was like he was released and then he just went ahead and announced it on Twitter. But my thing is this: because the way people be describing Matt Riddle, including himself, is that he's like he's this talented fighter, not wrestler, fighter. Because I don't know how many times I'll see that conversation where it's like, oh, in like a real life fight, who would win, like Matt Riddle or Roman Reigns, or Matt Riddle and Gold, because I know he did have some issues with Goldberg. But who else? You know, and everybody always say like, oh, Matt Riddle would have destroyed them. He did this, he did that. And that's the thing where I'm like, okay, if he's this talented fighter, he's this talented, you know, because I would imagine that when you just look at the other, because I think they did say he used to do some MMA back in the day. I don't know. I think, hold on for a second. Let me check if he if he was a part of UFC. They just say mixed martial law. Oh no, yeah, he was a part of UFC from 2008 to 2013. So my thing is this, right? You want to roll out like the Brock Lesnar carpet for him, but then again, you know, you think about it, it's like Brock Lesnar, like he paved it, because it was like he was already the person that Brock Lesnar is today. He was already that person at the beginning of his career. So I think like that's maybe, and I'm like, fam, they could have, bro. I'm sitting down thinking about that. It could have been like some like UFC faction where it's like Matt Riddle, Brock Lesnar, and Ronda Rousey, and it's like they just got like this attitude about themselves. I feel like it would have did good, but that was the thing though with Matt Riddle, is like they got like this pothead persona for him and stuff, and I'm like, that can only go so far. You know, eventually there are gonna be some moments where you gotta be saying, I think there's like he did when he had that little rivalry with Seth Rollins, that was that like segment that they did where Seth Rollins was all like, "Oh, let's talk about your family." All right, that's right. Your family don't want nothing to do with you and all this other stuff. That was probably the most serious we've ever seen Matt Riddle, and that could have went somewhere. But it's like, and that could have been the case too, where it's like WWE just didn't know what to do with this guy. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like that if I'm in that position where WWE has me going up against these people like, yeah, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, having me team up with Randy Orton. My thing is this, I'm like, if I gotta brainstorm some ideas, because I'm like, okay, have it where like, because I mean, like, what more like, I guess, like, of a fan base could Randy Orton gain? Because I guess, like, maybe if they had it where we were like heels or something, I'm like, they very well could have did that. What else could they have done? They could have had it where Matt Riddle had turned on Randy Orton and then he became a heel or something, and then he's more serious. They could have very well did that. But I know that I'll never forget. There was like, he had that segment with Asuka, and he forgot his lines, and I'm like, bro, that's one of those things. He just walked off. He was all like, I think he said something along the line. He was like, I forgot my lines. He was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. He got on his scooter and he left it. I'm like, wow, I ain't never seen that before. That's one of those things where it's like, dang, bro, what are you really a pothead? Like, do you like, is your act, like, is that really you and stuff? But and no, that's the thing about it though, is that he did have some moments where I guess, like, yeah, he did fail a drug test, and I'm like, fam, if you're a part of the biggest wrestling company in the world, there should be no reasons on why you are purposely going out of your way and messing it up. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, fam, you got to sit down and think about it. What do you think that is a smart idea to mess up probably your highest paying job ever? Like, I'm saying, like, WWE had to have probably been his highest paying job. I don't know. I'm assuming. But my thing is this: stay with the company a little bit longer. If it wasn't his highest paying job, it could have been his highest paying job. But it just seemed like that Matt Riddle, he didn't like take it seriously, being a part of WWE and stuff. And I'm not trying to come off as a WWE fanboy. I am leaving that out on the table too, is that maybe WWE just didn't know what to do with them. And then that's probably why he is going behind WWE's back and talking about the talents and WWE themselves and things. And I'm like, if that is the case, I'm like, okay, maybe he might have a valid reason. But if not, then it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, why would you mess it up? I guess because it could have been a thing where he could have came back. But it just seemed like that he doesn't care. And who knows, maybe it might be one of those like desperate, or he it's like, oh, he apologized, or because eventually he is gonna have to apologize for his actions. I mean, just coming out, let's just see some of the stuff that he's been saying recently, because I was like, I've been seeing his name a lot, and it's like, just recently Booker T, he was talking about Matt Riddle, and it's claimed WWE personnel. I wonder if that, no, that was 2 days ago. Who was it? They was all like, one of the most controversial wrestlers is the King of Bros, Matt Riddle. He recently made some harsh comments about former WWE champion AJ Lee and her husband, the Best North CM Punk. There's like, Riddle called Punk a creep and claimed that Lee got around. Okay, here's the thing. Talking about CM Punk, I'm like, that's the thing. I'm not a CM Punk fanboy. I'm a fan of CM Punk. It's just that I'm not I gotta defend CM Punk with all my might. I gotta, like, there are gonna be at times where I'm like, I might not agree with something that CM Punk done said, did, or whatever, but I might, just maybe. But that's the thing though, with CM Punk, he did have his little run where he wasn't getting along with WWE, and then he left, and then it was like, okay, he might not ever come back to the WWE. But then when he got back into wrestling, he showed up at AEW. Then it was like, okay, it's still in there and stuff. Then he just did that surprise out of nowhere, and he just showed up at WWE, and it's like, what's going on? Like, and I think that it always was in his future to come back, because like I think it was like before the pandemic, they had like that little not commentary, but it was like a talk show type thing where he came back and stuff. And I'm like, okay, it's being put on the table that CM Punk, he might potentially come back to wrestling and stuff at some point, maybe, I don't know. But overall though, it's like but going after CM Punk, and it's like CM Punk probably ain't did nothing to this guy. If anything, he probably I don't know, maybe he didn't want to work with him, or maybe there's some behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about. Like, I don't know. But my thing is this: if CM Punk ain't did nothing to you, if AJ Lee ain't did nothing to you, and was he even working for the company when did AJ? Because AJ Lee, she recently came back, but hold on for a second. Let me see. So, Divas champion, and then she retired. I thought she just left. She debuted in 2007. Dang, she's been wrestling for a minute now, huh? I mean, I guess dang, man, it's like, you sit down and think about it. Dang, she's 38 years old. I'm like, it's like I'm just so like behind with the time and stuff. Like it just doesn't even seem like that. It was like, I mean, yeah, we all knew she was gone and stuff for a minute, but dang, it's like I'm just seeing all these different things. I'm like, wow. All right, well, but anyway, so yeah, 2015, Matt Riddle, when did he get, because I think there was like with him, it was, he got signed after AJ Lee had left the company. So hold on for a second. Let's see, professional wrestling, WWE 2018, independent circuit, maybe like he did like some work for WWE. No, I'm like, there's like, a tryout. There's like, which like he confirmed take a WWE tryout. But I'm not seeing nothing of him being with WWE when AJ Lee. So it's like, how do you know what AJ Lee was doing backstage? Like, I'm not saying that she was getting around, but I'm just saying if that is the narrative, how do you know that? Like, what were you? And I'm like, if my thing is this, if somebody told you that, then I'm like, fam, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to allow them to talk about that. But I'm not going to go out my way and start talking about people that I don't know about and stuff. So it's like, well, that bridge done burnt down. It's like, yeah, if you could have potentially been cool with CM Punk and AJ Lee, especially CM Punk. I feel like if there's anybody that could give you advice on leaving the company and then coming back, CM Punk, he's definitely one of those guys that I would go to. Like, if I was a wrestler, if I was a WWE wrestler, I got released or fired, whatever, one person I definitely would go to is CM Punk, because I'm like, his story is definitely one of those stories that it's like you gotta write about. You gotta make movies about it. You gotta, like, if they were doing like wrestling movies, they definitely have to do a CM Punk wrestling movie, because I feel like that would be one of the most interesting movies of all time. And then just overall, yeah, having it where it's like it ends off with his return to WWE and stuff. So. Or him like working towards his return to WWE. But anyways, if I had to contact Matt Riddle, I'm like, nah, bruh, you're trying to put me in a position where I don't even have a job no more. So it's like, and I guarantee and I promise you, if you continue on with your antics, you continue on with making comments about people, eventually it's going to get to a point where Major League Wrestling, they're going to be like, yeah, bruh, you're putting out a bad reputation for us. It ain't even on some stuff where it's like you're trying to, oh, this wrestler sucks. Oh, I definitely would squash them in a one-on-one match and stuff. And I feel like that's that wrestling talk. That's that talk where it's like, okay, I know that they know that I'm in character. I'm not being dead serious about it and stuff. But it's like the comments that he's making, I'm like, that's not comments that you as a wrestler should be making. Like, if you're trying to make like, oh, I'm in my wrestling character, that's not a character, that's not an act, that's not some bit or whatever. It's like, that's you making a disrespectful comment about CM Punk and AJ Lee. There was no reason for you to go after CM Punk and AJ Lee. They ain't even did nothing to you. So I'm like, yeah, bro. It eventually is gonna get to a point where he does make some more disrespectful comments, and eventually, Major League Wrestling is gonna get rid of him. He's gonna be right next door to Ryback, tweeting out stuff, posting about things, and it's like, bro, come on now. Like, you could do better than that. Like, that don't go out like that. But it's like, if there's anything that you can do, I guess, to save face, apologize to those that you have wronged, and maybe, just maybe, you might be able to come back to WWE one day, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, it seems like currently right now I feel like that he would hear this and he's in that mindset where he's like, I never want to step foot in the WWE ring again. And it's like, all right. And that's the thing. Eventually, it's going to get to a point in time where you could have potentially had that opportunity, and WWE is going to hit you with that. They're going to be like, nah, that same energy that you had before. Keep that same energy. You ain't coming back into this company. You ain't gonna start cutting up, rubbing people the wrong way, and all this other extra stuff. I'm like, it don't even make any sense why he's doing the things that he's doing. So, but anyways, I feel like there was definitely some other stuff that he said besides that AJ Lee stuff. Hold on for a second, because I feel like I had saved some things on Twitter. Maybe it was just that AJ Lee and CM Punk stuff, but hold on for a second. Let me see what I had saved, because I did see there was like, yeah, Booker T. I do plan on talking about this on my wrestling channel. But yeah, let's maybe I didn't say, maybe it was just that Booker T situation. Yeah, I think that might have been it. It might have just been the tweet that Booker T made. What is it that Booker T has said? There was like, Booker T says Matt Riddle will never make it back to the major leagues, blew up his bridges. Then he goes on to say, I never had any beef with Matt Riddle or anything like that, but I did say I did not like this guy was going to. I did say I did not think this guy was going to make it in this business. I didn't think he was going to make it to heavyweight championship level just because of certain things. I just didn't think Matt Riddle respected the business enough to make it to the next level. And I can see that. You know, it's like having it where it's just, you know, you're playing this pothead role. I don't think WWE would have wanted to make you put you in that position while you're in that character and stuff. So, because yeah, I don't think it was like the tag team championships, like he had stuff like that. So the United States Championship one time, the Raw Tag Team Championships twice with Randy Orton, NXT Tag Team Championship with Pete Dunne, and then the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with Pete Dunne. So yeah, it was, dang, he didn't even get like no like major championship in NXT. Like he wasn't like NXT champion or, you know, stuff like that. But and I think that it has a lot to do with that character. It's like, you know, you can't play that character and stuff. Like I guess like I don't know, because somebody that I'm thinking of where I'm like it's worked out for them, and they kind of have like that surfer type character as Soul Ruka. And I'm like, yeah, her. Now my thing is this, her character, perfect. I'm like, I feel like that's a perfect character for her. And yeah, you'll see where she's championship bound, winning women championships, women United States championships, intercontinental championships and stuff. You know, you'll see where she'll make it to the big screens, and, you know, having it where she you know, she's in that same conversation of people like AJ Lee and Charlotte Flair, and, you know, I'm trying to think of some other greats like them and stuff. So, but anyways, then he goes on to say, talking on what Booker T was saying, then he goes on to say, you could be a skyrocket trajectory and boom, everything just blows up in your face, and you're working on the indies, never again to make it back into the major leagues. And I do believe that Matt Riddle is going to be one of those guys that will never ever make it to that high ever again. It's one thing burning bridges, but when you just blow up the bridge, that's another story. I just don't think this guy did himself any favors over the weekend, speaking the way he is. Yeah, it had a lot to do with the comments that he made about CM Punk and AJ Lee, and it was like, yeah, that was just uncalled for. Talking about CM Punk as a creep because he hangs around, and I think that's why he said that. So CM Punk, and I'm like, okay, I would imagine that he showed up to NXT to give out advice to the wrestlers that's there, where it's like, hey, some of you guys, and it's kind of like, because it's funny how I was just watching that not too long ago, the Full Metal Jacket, where the guy, that drill sergeant guy, he said that, how he was like, you know, some of you guys are not gonna make it out of this war and stuff. And I'm pretty sure CM Punk was probably giving those guys like some of that same conversation. It's like, you know, you're gonna make it out of NXT, but you're not going to have that same level as you did, you know, when you were a part of NXT. For an example, look at, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but just kind of look at Carmelo Hayes right now, where it's like I felt like that, yeah, he definitely should have been, well, he definitely should have like at least like some United States and Intercontinental championships underneath his belt, you know. And then let's see, you know, kind of like treat it like how they did Kofi Kingston when he was when he was going for the championship and things. Like, yeah, they could have did something like that, you know, or something. But anyways, but no, overall though, Yeah, but CM Punk going over to NXT, it's like, how is that a problem? How is that a problem when it's like so many different wrestlers done did that? It's just, yeah, CM Punk. But I think that's what it was that he was in the back taking pictures, I think, with Roxanne and Cora Jade when she was a part of the business. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, yeah, you see somebody like Cora Jade, you can see where she could potentially come back to the business, because she ain't trying to burn her bridges and stuff. She's like, I'm leaving that opportunity open, But anyways, but yeah, it's like I believe they did say, yeah, Cora Jade, and because Cora Jade, she does kind of give out like that, like early CM Punk vibes, like, the CM Punk when I got into wrestling, like 2007 CM Punk. Like she kind of gives out that vibe and stuff, when he had that other entrance music and stuff. And Roxanne, yeah, she seems like somebody that was she was probably glued to the TV when CM Punk was on there and stuff. So because CM Punk, he was one of those wrestlers where it was like, that man, a well-spoken wrestler. I'm like, that's one thing where it's like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, I feel like that you have to be joking around. You say, like, oh, I don't really like CM Punk on the mic. That's like, oh, okay, that's like, that, I don't know. That's like saying you don't like John Cena's colorful shirts and stuff. It just don't make sense. Everybody like John Cena's colorful shirts, but overall, though, yeah, getting back to CM Punk being at NXT, there's nothing wrong with that. I think he was just mad that nobody called him over to NXT to, I guess try to give out advice, because it's like, what advice can you give them? It's like, fam, you ain't doing no different than what we're doing over here. It's like, if anything, there's probably NXT, there's Trick, I would say it'll be wrestlers like Trick Williams. It'll be what was that dude that won the LFG competition and he just got signed? I feel like he's doing better than Matt Riddle. Let's think of some other people. Cora Jade, when she was a part of NXT, she was doing better than Matt Riddle. I'm trying to think of some other people that's a part of Ava as the general manager. She's doing, even when she had her little thing going on with wrestling, she was doing better than Matt Riddle, because it's like, you look at all those guys afterwards, it's like, wow, like, from when they started from where they're at now, and then it's like, you look at how when Matt Riddle started from where he's at now, you ain't even a part of the business no more, versus like all these other guys you see where Trick Williams, he's winning championships both in WWE and in TNA. So yeah, man, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, Matt Riddle, it's like, you need to worry about yourself before you start worrying about other people and stuff. So, but yeah, maybe get into it with Goldberg again or something, I don't know. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.